Welcome back to the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. Today we have a very special guest. We want to do this more often. This is the first time we're doing this. We got our special guest, Collin Brickhouse, huge Cowboys fan. Collin, introduce yourself, sir. What kind of hat are
Hello,
you rocking
hello.
right now?
I've got the Stars hat on, game five against Winnipeg, so hopefully we can send it home, go on to the next round.
Absolutely. Is it the next round's the Stanley Cup, isn't that right?
Is this Western Conference Finals right now?
I think this is the Western. I think the Western Conference
Okay.
Finals next round, isn't it?
I think
Is the
this
next round
is
okay.
the quarters.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're right, because usually it goes hand in hand with the NBA playoffs. So yeah.
let's find out. Right
Yeah,
now, yep,
Brickhouse.
winner of this goes against the Oilers.
Mm,
Oh, that's going to be a fun matchup. Whoever goes against them.
for sure.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
and on the other side, whoever goes up against Carolina, the Hurricanes. Hurricanes are good, so.
Absolutely. And who's you rocking on your jersey right now?
Micah Parsons, man. Micah Parsons just signed.
Okay.
I think I don't know
Are
if
you
we
guys gonna pay him?
I don't know if they've officially signed it, but they've been talking about signing a $41 million
Okay.
dollar contract. So I think
Wow.
they're just like doing the media thing right now to try to pressure each side's trying to pressure the other to like put their best foot forward and like close the
Hmm.
deal, I think, but who knows? So
That's a lot of
Well,
cash.
what they should do, Brickhouse, is they should wait until the first week of the regular season and then pay Micah $50 million a year, and then
dude,
Jerry will brag about how he really got a good deal out of it.
if he would have just signed the check a whole lot faster, it would have been a whole lot cheaper uh before the whole Miles Garrett thing happened with that massive
Hmm.
contract, and now Micah's just you have to base it off of that.
And
It's like
Micah's
comp
younger, so you got to
something
pay him
else.
more.
Yeah, and I mean he's good. And he's so
Hmm.
good. A little
Really good.
controversial. His podcast is a little crazy, but it's okay. It's okay.
You're here to represent your Dallas Cowboys.
There we go. It's our year, right? 30 years in the making. So we them boys.
Hey, wait, I'm really glad that the Washington Commanders can now leave you guys in the sole position of the only NFC team to not make it to the NFC Championship in the 2000s.
Yeah,
So that's truly rare company, Brickhouse.
I know, dude. What can I say? We're one of a kind. So
You are one of a kind.
that's not always a good thing, but it's fine. It's fine.
It's still fun.
Brickhouse, is there anything else you'd like to share about yourself besides your oh, you only mentioned the Stars and the Cowboys. I mean, you got to
Yeah,
talk about the
dude.
trifecta about your passion.
Man,
I guess there's four teams.
there's five. I'm a
Okay.
DFW sports fan. So we've got the Cowboys, we got the Stars, we got the Rangers, got the Mavericks, and we have FC Dallas. So can't forget the soccer. But I cheer for FC Dallas, Austin FC, and I watch Inter Miami because Messi. Like, when do you get to actually watch the goat of a sport play? Right, never. So
That's fair.
yeah, because Michael Jordan's the goat, and I was too young. But that's that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Um, yeah, I don't think any of our podcast listeners actually know this, Andrew, besides those that know us. But we all share a connection to Altus, Oklahoma,
Yes, we do.
Yes.
which is
Yes,
crazy.
we
Hometown.
do.
Yep.
Hmm.
And now we because Brickhouse, you're still in Oklahoma, right?
No, I'm in Texas, so
Oh, that's right.
yeah. I'm in the DFW area, so I can go actually watch games. So it's fantastic.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we cover a lot of ground between, Idaho, Colorado, Texas.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. We just need to get some on the East Coast.
No, that's
I don't
fair.
think we
Yeah.
have to. The next person you bring on is going to be a Patriots fan. Who likes the Patriots? Get out of here.
We do got some on deck, I think. So,
Oh, dang it. I shouldn't have said anything. Oh, man.
No, it's all good, Brickhouse. But yeah, kind of a little tie-in so that people know. Brickhouse and I, we went to school together.
Hmm.
So
hmm
Altus Bulldogs graduates. Andrew, are you Altus Bulldog graduate?
It's a long story, but yes, kind of. I got my GED in Altus.
Cool,
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what they
That
say?
counts,
Once a
man.
bulldog, always a bulldog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, when I was in elementary school, we were the Bull Pups. I actually wore the mascot. I was the mascot that year. So I
Man,
feel like I'm ingrained in royalty basically.
I think I've
Absolutely.
got, is this it? Yeah, look, my high school diploma.
There you
Dude.
go.
There you go. I don't know why I knew that was down here, but I normally forget where everything is. There we go.
Uh, Andrew and I, the last time we were podcasting Brickhouse, we were talking about how much we miss Brahms, which
Dude,
is in
Mm.
your backyard. So you're like, who cares? It's just right down the street. Like, it's fine.
so I just moved up here from Austin, and the closest I've been here a year. The closest Brahms to me was like 2 hours away there. So
Wow.
whenever to the house I moved on, I am literally less than 5 minutes from a Brahms. It's I actually my wife on the way home tonight, I was like, "Hey, do you want to swing by Brahms?" And so she literally brought us Brahms home tonight, and I had a Sunday.
Mm.
So
Mm-mm.
it's so good. There's no
Is
ice
that
cream.
is that is that your
No ice
dessert of
cream
choice,
compares.
Brickhouse? Is the Sunday from Brahms?
No, dude. Okay, so I'm normally a person of habit, right? Um, that's why I'm still a Cowboys fan. I just can't give it up. But I rotate at Brahms sometimes. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I rotate, so sometimes I get like froyo, sometimes a Dr. Pepper freeze, and then sometimes a sundae. So those are my three options. Or a mix. I found out those are pretty good too.
They
So
are.
yeah, the Reese's peanut butter cup mix, fantastic.
Mm.
That is a
Mm.
good choice. For me, man, it's all about the mint chocolate chip shake.
Oh, so good. Do you ever
Mm.
mix mint chocolate? No, you don't. Never mind.
What?
I was gonna say, do you ever
What?
mix mint chocolate chip with cappuccino chunky chocolate? But no.
Oh, well, I
Yeah,
mean that there's a part of the problem of that equation, which you know that part of the problem, but
we're good. We're good. We're good. Yeah, my apologies. It just
don't discriminate against me, Brickhouse.
I'm not. That's just what I think of is those two together are so good. But anywho, that's just me. My bad.
No, it's all good, man. I really love the banana splits.
Yeah,
Mm.
they're massive too. You get like three scoops of ice cream. That's too much for me.
Oh, dude, it's
Yeah.
so good. And mixed it in with the banana and the
Mhm.
hot fudge sundae, and a little bit of almonds on top.
I'm starting to get
Mhm.
old though, so like bananas make my mouth itch, which is terrible.
Bananas make your mouth itch. I don't think I've ever
My
heard
dad
that
is
one
like,
before.
my dad is bad allergic to bananas. He eats them, throat closes up just completely. So
Wow.
yeah, so since my mouth starts itching, like on the inside, my throat's a little itchy. I don't eat them anymore. Very sad,
That's
but
probably wise.
yeah,
Yeah,
I have life insurance, but that doesn't mean that I want to cash out, right? Like
Right?
it'd be a bad idea. So
I mean the life insurance is really only good for others. It's not really good for you.
hey, but it would take care of my wife and both my kids. So
That's fair.
then I'd see Jesus. It's too early for that. I still got stuff to do.
Mm-hmm. There's still work to be done. Well, you
Exactly.
got to see the Cowboys win the Super Bowl sometime soon.
Yes, geez, I was like 10 months old the last time they won a Super Bowl, man. February of 96. Jeez.
10 years old. You're
10
not that
months.
old, Brickhouse.
No, 10
You're like
months.
2 years
Oh,
old.
my
Oh,
whole
10
camera
months?
time.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 months.
Yeah, man. That is crazy. I cannot believe that.
Been
Before
that
we get
long.
too
Me neither.
far, I'm just have to say, Brickhouse, I'm disgusted,
No.
not surprised,
Yeah.
but frustrated, annoyed. And honestly, I don't know who I hate more right now. I don't know if I hate the Jazz ownership more, like the front
Mm.
office, or if I
Hmm.
hate the NBA more. But the whole cabal that happened in the NBA lottery last week was just straight trash. All of it,
Dude.
straight trash.
Yeah, that
Mm.
was nuts. That was nuts. I texted two of my friends here about it, and I said, "Can you believe this?" And I said, "Are we gonna keep this, or are we gonna trade it for a fourth rounder from last year?" And they both said like almost verbatim, no, we're going to trade it for a 40-year-old proven defender. That's what we're going to trade it for. I was like, ah, it's too soon. Like Anthony Davis, I think is only like 32 or 34 or something. He's not that old, but still, like,
Dude, his
His
his knees are
body's that
40.
old.
yeah,
Yeah.
his
Yeah,
body is that
exactly.
old.
His knees are
Mm-hmm.
40.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
poor guy. Like, I wanted to cheer for him so bad this year, and then he plays 3 quarters, and he's done. And then Kyrie Irving comes back from injury, and so Kyrie Irving played 3 quarters total with Anthony Davis because then he tore his ACL. Like the pits, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't understand how you trade a young 20-year-old superstar for an older 32-year-old defensive player straight up. I don't.
defense wins championships. Don't you see the Mavericks playing hard right now against the Denver Nut? Oh wait, that's the Oklahoma City Thunder, and it's because they have an amazing offense. Crap. Yeah. They
And a
have good
really good
defenders too.
GM.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, they do. Like their defenders are fantastic. Alex Caruso's
Hmm.
wonderful. Dude's awesome.
Great pickup. Great
hmm
pickup.
Like so, it is what it is. But
Honestly, the funniest thing that's happened this offseason or this season with the Jazz is I've been arguing with Jazz fans on social media about how Danny Ainge is better than almost any other GM in the league. Like they're telling me, "Hey, he's
oh,
the best.
oh,
He's the best GM." And it's like, are you guys watching how this is playing out? Because the Jazz had the worst record in the NBA. Like that doesn't show signs of growth. We just traded 3 first round picks for a future Suns pick that we hope is a top 5 pick, but have no idea it could actually end up being a 30th pick. Like,
Hmm.
dude, the thinking going on right now. I mean, we also have to mention this just because, but the Jazz switched to highlighter yellow, the worst mistake ever made in branding
yes.
history. And
hmm
just in case if anyone's wondering, the Utah Jazz are doing a 25% off sale on all of their highlighter yellow gear. I don't know why that is. It could be coincidence. Maybe it's just a hot flash sale and they're trying to get more highlighter yellow swag into the building, but who knows?
Well, you guys are batting 207, so that's better than Marcus Simeon's batting for the Rangers right now. Just saying, 1765. Holy crap, that was a bad year. I'm sorry, man. Hey, but to be fair, you're an Eagles fan, so NFL went
That,
well. You were due a
that's fair.
letdown. You were due a letdown. So,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've traded 2 Eagles Super Bowl victories for a lifetime of Jazz like figurative hell. I don't think we'll ever escape it. It's who knows. We'll see. But
we'll
I
see,
can't
Speed.
complain because you're right, Brickhouse. I mean, you haven't even watched your team win a Super Bowl other than when you were
Yep,
10 months old. I've watched my team win twice. They're going to drop the banner down on your guys' face this
it's
September.
okay.
So,
It is okay.
And hey, at least you've experienced one. My team has made it to four and lost all four, and that was like in the 70s. So
Yeah. I don't know how people like you and Buffalo Bills fans do it, man.
we just like torture. We just like torture.
Man, I get that though. I cheer for Josh Allen every year, and every year he lets me down
Mhm.
and loses to the Chiefs
The
every
same guy.
year.
He can't get
I
past
know.
15. He just can't get
Yeah,
past them.
it's fine.
I
And
mean, you
then I'm
have
a
to
Thunder
admit,
fan
though,
too, and they've never won. So, I've never experienced a
This
championship.
could be the year, man. I'm looking forward to
Could
it.
be. It could
Yeah,
be. I'm
could
also a
be.
semi-Pacers fan. So, hey, I have two shots at it.
there you go.
Well, I mean, where the Thunder went wrong is when the Durant left, man. I mean, what do you do? I mean, he just totally ditched the team. That How do you
Yeah,
recover from that?
I
it
think
took
it
him a
goes
while,
further than
but
that, though.
they're
I
doing
think it goes
better.
further than that. I think the year they lost to the Heat, and then they ended up, I think, trading Harden. They should have kept that band together one more year. If they kept them together one more year, they would have won a title that year. I kind of understand why, because they wouldn't have been able to sign them all. But you
hmm
had a shot at it. You had a shot at the title that year because they were that close, and
I mean, but they were
they
they were
just couldn't
so
do it.
close that year against the Golden State Warriors. I mean, they had the series and then they
Hmm.
fell apart.
Steph Curry
I
did
don't
his
know.
Steph Curry thing,
Yeah,
He sure
and
did.
Klay Thompson had like 40 and a quarter or something.
I know how that feels too as a Texas Ranger fan. 2011 World Series, one pitch, we're good.
Mm,
Or no, it's 2013, I think. Getting so close yet so far. It
hmm.
happens in sports, unfortunately.
It does. Andrew Brickhouse made me think of a question. Back to like the 90s where the Falcons and the Vikings were facing each other in NFC Championship, and
You
that
had to bring
weird
that up.
fiasco with kicking. I mean, I just have to know. But I mean, like, everyone talks about how it was like a shoe-in for the Broncos to win that Super Bowl. But what if the Vikings went up against the Broncos? Like, who would have won
We would
that
have
game?
won. Oh yeah, we would have won. And so everyone blames Garrett Anderson for missing that kick. So yes, he should not have missed that kick. But there were like three or four things that happened in that game that shouldn't have happened. Minnesota was up 10 in the fourth quarter, and we gave the game away. So it shouldn't have came to that kick. And that kick honestly wasn't even a game winner. It just would have pushed us to 13 or something like that. We had the lead. It would have gave us a bigger lead, but he missed it, and the Falcons came and scored, and they won. So, but that was still heartbreaking, heartbreaking. And yes, the Vikings would have won that year. And then I think it was '09 against the Saints,
Mm,
whenever Brett Favre throws that dumb pass across his body and gets intercepted, we would have beaten the Colts that year too. But it is what it is. We keep fighting.
Yeah, you never know, man. It changes all the
Hmm.
time. So little things. I mean, I'm sure Brickhouse can tell us well about the Packers Cowboys fiasco
Des
back in
Bryant,
the
man.
2010s.
You know what's so
Uh,
funny is how they changed the rule the next year to where that was a
yep.
catch, but they didn't
Hmm.
let that be a catch. Yeah, I've got a friend of mine from college that he and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, but he's a diehard Green Bay Packers fan, but he's the kind of Green Bay Packers fan that's like he doesn't talk about Super Bowls. He talks about world championships. Because back when the AFL and the NFL, and
Hmm.
so he's just like, we've got the most world championships. I'm like, shut up. Like, really? It's a totally different game. It is what it is. It's fun. It's fun. But,
Well,
So
should
that
we get into
actually,
this year?
yeah,
yeah.
that's what I was actually just about to ask you, Brickhouse. So
Perfect.
like,
Hmm.
looking at this season, looking at the Cowboys, you're our man, you're our insider. How are you
All
feeling about
right,
your
man.
Yes.
Cowboys after everything that's unfolded?
Dude, obviously, it's our year. We them boys. Like, partly obligatory, partly like actually. I was, I was, I was, man, how do I say this without being an actual simp? I really think until the schedule was released, I was very, very optimistic of having just a pretty good season. The strength of schedule is a little bit more difficult. We're tied for like the fifth hardest strength of schedule.
Yeah, you're tied with my team. Yeah,
Yeah, so
tied for the fifth
it's
hardest.
a little
Hmm.
rough, and we'll get to that, I'm sure, here in a little bit. But I'm looking forward to it. And here's the crazy part is I'm looking forward to it in a different way than normal because from everything that I've been hearing from people in the area, from reporters and stuff, is that Stephen Jones has taken a bigger hand in the offseason than ever
Hmm.
before this year. And the reason that I'm looking forward to that is not so much that I trust Stephen Jones to win a Super Bowl, but it's not Jerry Jones. In and of itself is enough for me, right?
It's
No offense to
fair.
Jerry. Jerry is a wonderful businessman. Obviously, the Cowboys are far and away the highest valued. Is that the right way to say it? They're the
Yeah, the
NFL
highest valued
franchise worth
team.
the much that they thank you, thank you, thank you. And
Hmm.
so he's obviously good at what he does business wise, right? Like he makes
Right.
great business decisions, terrible NFL decisions. I wonder what the Cowboys would look like now if he and Jimmy Johnson hadn't gotten into a bar fight, right? And who knows? That's neither here nor there. But the off-season signings, and the reason I'm looking forward to this year is the off-season signings have been different and they've been better than like the last 5 or 6 years, it feels like. So it kind of feels like we're turning a page, but at the same time, I also recognize that I'm a Cowboys fan, and I think every year we turn a page, right? It's just the delusions of grandeur. Like, are we bringing back the 90s? No, we're not. But can we win one? Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, I was reading a thing by Adam Schefter, and he said the Cowboys will be the first team in NFL history to play 6 straight games against teams that won over 11 games last season. I'm not looking forward to that. And it's our
I
last,
see that
I think it's our
stretch.
last six. Yeah, so it is.
It
It's our last
starts with the
six.
Eagles. Yep.
Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders. Like it's gonna be
Yep.
and I feel bad for other Cowboys fans that are like actually delusional because they're gonna be like leading up to this, we could let's see, there's 17 games. We could last six, we got 11. We could be 8-3, you know, and then we lose six in a row and we end up 8-9. Like that could happen. I'm not saying it will, but that could happen. And I don't know what's going to happen to the Cowboys fan base if it does happen. But no, I am looking forward to it though. I'm looking forward to this season. Um, I wish we had a stronger run game because we've kind of just already told everybody how we're going to play and what we're going to do. So
Mhm.
we don't have any like elements of surprise right now. Maybe Jaden Blue will, or Jalen Blue.
Jaden.
Maybe Blue will show up and just be this amazing running back. Who knows? But
Possible.
I don't know. So
And Javonte
So,
Williams is no slouch. He's
yeah,
he's not a
mhm.
superstar, but he's capable.
he's really kind of like a. If I remember right, I was watching it's the new NFL show, something with not not the front line. I don't remember, not the frontier. I don't remember what it is or what it's called. But I think they said he's a power back, right?
Basically, yeah. He's
Yeah.
he's not the fastest guy, but he does not go down.
Yeah. So that gives me, you know, Zeke Elliott vibes. Zeke can
Yeah.
take a hit. Um, so I don't know. Maybe we'll see that happen. Who knows? I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know a lot about Jalen Blue because I'm a Texas A&M fan, just another team that's never won anything, and so I don't watch the Longhorns unless they're playing the Aggies. So I don't know anything about Jalen Blue. So
I mean, I think if I remember right from what I hear about him, he was kind of a more speedy back. So I think he'd be
I
someone
think so.
interesting
yeah,
to pair
Yeah.
with
Mhm.
Javante. I think that'll be a good change of pace. Someone that's like a
Right.
from what I've heard in Dallas, they're doing run by committee again. They're doing another committee. I don't remember who our third running back we picked up was.
probably Miles Sanders is who you're thinking of, right?
Yes, Miles Sanders.
Hmm.
I think they said he's going to be a good third down back. Javonte Williams is going to be the power back, and then Jalen Blue will be, if we're going to run on first or second, then he would be probably our first down running back. Um, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Uh, the running back I feel like is probably our weakest position. Not to say that it's terrible, not to say that these guys can't pop off. But
Hmm.
for me, that's the biggest unknown. So I don't know.
I think you brought up some good points, Brickhouse, and Andrew and I actually talked about this in the last episode, and I talked about how I felt like the Cowboys had a better offseason.
Yeah.
The two moves that I brought up that I thought were interesting was when they traded for Kenneth Murray Jr. from the Titans, and they
Hmm.
traded for Kyer Elam from the Buffalo Bills. But like, it feels like that Stephen Jones or whoever it was did a better job of navigating the bargain bin options.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago, I feel like there's like a Jerry Jones mindset of, all in means paying CD Lamb, Dak Prescott. That's it. Press the pause button on the rest of the offseason. Whereas this
Yeah.
season, I feel like there's been more effort to be like, okay, who can we bring in at what price point? Joe Milton trade. Like, I think that's another great
Hmm.
example of
Yeah, we'll
navigating a
talk
Right.
about that.
limited cap situation. So, yeah, I think those are some really, really good points.
Yeah, and I think Maybe let's be totally clear and honest about our thinking. That might be why I'm so hyped about this year is because of the we're all in, and then we do absolutely nothing. And we pay Dak Prescott a ridiculous amount of money, and then he gets injured, and he played what, eight
Hmm.
games? I think he was 3-5 before he got injured. Um, that's almost as bad as the Browns. It's not, but it's almost as bad as the Browns signings. So we'll see. They did rework his salary cap, his
His
contract, and
contract. Hmm.
I think it freed up almost 50 or 60 million dollars in salary cap space. So I don't know. We'll see. But
And we
Hey,
also got to
Brickhouse,
bring
another
up the George
player.
Pickens trade.
this,
Yes. Yeah, I was
yeah.
that's where I was going next was wide receiver.
Yep.
All right. So I I am very excited about George Pickens, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
Uh,
Really?
yeah, I am. Look, I understand that there are people that say George Pickens is just he's a hassle. He's an unknown because he doesn't he's and from what I've heard from fans, George Pickens is destructive to teams. Like, and that's why the Steelers looked to get rid of him last year. That's why they looked to get rid of him the year before. Nobody would take him. This year, they finally got a chance to offload him, which is rare because Mike Tomlin is extremely patient. He's great with hard to coach people. Um,
Right.
I know a lot of Steelers fans that don't like Mike Tomlin. I love Mike Tomlin. Like if the Cowboys picked him up, I would probably be excited because I think Mike Tomlin's a fantastic coach. Um, but when it comes to the Cowboys, this wouldn't be our first difficult wide receiver, right? If you look
Mm,
at whenever we pick up Terrell Owens was also well known for being a difficult to work with, highly like he was a diva. Like everything was about T.O. And we did well with T.O. We didn't win anything. Shocker. It's Cowboys reality for you. But uh, we have we've done it before in the past where Jerry has said, you know what? I'm going to give you another shot. If it doesn't work out, I'm just going to immediately get rid of you. There's a guy that Dallas did that to. I don't remember his name. Is it like Austin Hedges or Austin something or other? Sorry, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was with the Cowboys for like one season. He was a difficult wide receiver to work with. He did absolutely nothing. Cowboys just immediately dropped him. So if this doesn't work out, it's an extremely low risk, high reward possibility. It's
mm,
$3 million for what could be one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And from what I've seen from executives and coaches inside the Steelers, people that know George Pickens actually think that he was a very coachable player and that
Mm.
some of the problems that he had were blown out of proportion by people who are just assuming things about George Pickens. He didn't mesh well, and they didn't want to risk him not meshing well with DK Metcalf. And then everybody thinks Aaron Rodgers is going to go play for the Steelers if he decides to play this year. Who knows, right? Let's not even talk about Aaron Rodgers. I don't like Aaron Rodgers. It's fine. But one of the things I'm looking forward to with the George Pickens is he is the opposite of a CeeDee Lamb, right?
mm,
I
So
feel the same way.
yeah, if you're like looking like here's your football field, right? On these outside pieces is where if you look at, I literally have a heat map on this side of my screen. On right here on the outside is where all of George Pickens' major catches are. He loves playing the outside, whereas CeeDee Lamb plays those slants in the middle, right up here, a little bit closer too. And so CeeDee Lamb will play all of these. George Pickens will play all of the just all the post routes just straight up. He'll do the 50-50 catches. And he does well with those, amazingly well with those. And if you look at their stats, CeeDee Lamb last year had 1,200 yards, but he had 100 receptions with 1,200 yards. So he's averaging 11.8 yards a reception. He had six touchdowns. George Pickens last year caught 59 passes, but he caught 900 yards. So he averaged 15 yards a catch with three touchdowns. So yes, I think he's gotten 12 touchdowns over the last 3 seasons. So he's averaging 4 touchdowns a season, which isn't amazing. It's not an amazing workload for a wide receiver, but if you're that long ball post guy, you're most of the time you're not going to be the one catching touchdown balls unless you can just strip the corner and strip the safety and get all the way free. They're going to if they're going to throw it, they're going to throw it short to somebody like CeeDee Lamb, right? Like whenever they're closer to the goal line. But whenever you look at it, um, George Pickens got like just a little over I think it's right around 58% of the amount of passes that CeeDee Lamb got, but he got 75% of the yards that CeeDee Lamb got. So even though he's catching fewer balls, he's he's producing more yards. And so Dak's I will say Dak Prescott is not big on 50-50 wide receivers. He doesn't throw to them very often. When he first joined the Cowboys, if you start looking at Dez Bryant's production, as soon as Dak gets on the scene, Dez Bryant's numbers just drop like immediately. And I think it's drastic. I think he went from like 1,200 yards, 1,200 yards, 1,100 yards to Dak gets on the scene, 700 yards, 800 yards, 900 yards, like 300 to 400 yards drop because Dak doesn't like to throw 50-50 balls. Um, but that's okay because it's an option. It's not something he has to do. And simply having that option will free up CeeDee Lamb because if you don't block Pickens, it's not a 50-50 ball. It's 100% ball. You throw it near him, he'll catch the ball. He's got hands. He's a very good wide receiver. So I'm optimistic for George Pickens. I'm honestly I'm looking forward to it. But again, I have to recognize that I'm a Cowboys fan. I really do try to keep my expectations to I want to make it to the playoffs. That's what I really want to do. I want to make it to the playoffs, and I just want to do well. I don't care if we win. We have to start by actually making it to the playoffs and then winning a playoff game and then building off of that and saying like, all right, what went well this year? Well, Pickens went well. Our running back by committee didn't do so well. We kind of knew it wouldn't because it never runs well for us. So maybe we could improve on that. Who knows? But I also, our coach is the biggest question mark for me. To be honest,
Mm.
out of now that I'm thinking about it, I said the running backs was I have to give Shoddy a shot, but he's an offensive coordinator who hasn't called plays in 2 years, and he's about to start calling plays again as the head coach. And I don't know. We'll give him a shot, but I don't know anything about his capabilities as a coach because he's kind of just been behind the scenes type stuff. You know, when they announced it, Dak Prescott was pumped because apparently when he was calling plays, that was when Dak was doing very well. And so Dak loves the offense the way that Brian Schottenheimer runs it, but we'll see with that again. I will say, so thinking about quarterbacks, Joe Milton, you mentioned him a second ago. Joe Milton he's got a long ball. He can
Mm.
chunk that ball. He's got a cannon. So I like our backup quarterback situation this year way better than last year. And if Dak got injured last year, I'm not saying he's going to get injured again this year, but I am saying that if he's not careful and he doesn't do what he's supposed to rehab his knee properly, he will get re-injured. I feel better having somebody like Joe Milton who can work well with the George Pickens who wants the long ball. I feel better for that. And from what I've heard, I guess I shouldn't say heard, from what I've briefly read about him, his accuracy isn't Joe Milton's accuracy is not amazing, but it's improving. Uh, so that's my take.
I mean, those are lots of good nuggets there, Brickhouse.
Nah, thanks.
Couple.
It's because we're gonna win the Super Bowl, man. Super hyped.
So, as far as looking at the roster, right, and like looking
Mhm.
at George Pickens, what happens? Like what if things go well after the year? Do you think that the Cowboys are going to try to keep him?
I would say, that's a really good question because from what I've heard, he wants 30 million a year, or he wants a
Mm-hmm.
$30 million contract, and that's part of the reason that the Steelers wanted to let him go because they knew that they would be able to trade him and at least get something for him. Now, I think the Cowboys got the way better end of the trade because not only did we get Pickens, we're getting a compensatory pick. So if we don't keep him, we get a third round pick from the Steelers next year, which could be
I'm not
pretty good
laughing at
for
you,
us.
Brickhouse. I'm
Yeah,
laughing
no, you're
because
good.
I can hear Andrew's mind, like he's screaming right now as you talk about compensatory picks. He hates comp picks, but I
Oh
love
yeah,
him.
I
So
get
keep
it. I get
going.
it.
I love
I don't
him.
care.
Not
I'm just
not
telling you
hate him.
what's
I
gonna
just
happen. Yeah. But I don't understand why they gave him away so cheap, but I mean we're paying him 3 million this year, and if he's worth the money, Jerry has shown us that he will pay people that aren't worth the money. Like I don't think I like Dak Prescott. I don't think we should have given him that contract. He did not play well enough to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. That's just Jerry saying, "Look how much money I have, guys. I'm just going to throw it all away." Like it's ridiculous. But it honestly, it's infuriating. But I do think I think they would keep him. I think they would probably give him a 3-year deal, and I think we would suffer in other places because of it. Um, yeah, but I mean, it's like you said, we did bargain bin shop quite a bit, so we're not paying like our running backs. I don't remember what they are, but I think it was like 1.5 and 2.5 million for them, um, for how much we paid them. But they're not costing us very much at all. So we'll see
Yeah,
we'll see how
no.
that goes. And Jaden
Williams
Blue,
is
if he
a
does
$3 million
well,
contract. I think
okay,
everyone else is like 1 million, so it's cheap.
yeah.
Cheap.
And then Jaden Blue is on a rookie contract, so he's got 5 years or four
and a
years.
late round and a late round rookie
Yeah,
contract.
yeah,
I would say the
yeah,
only issue with paying so many people so much money is you have to nail the draft.
yeah.
You have to because you can't really afford much more in free agency when you're paying
Hmm.
Dak Prescott, CD Lamb, you're playing Micah Parsons, then possibly George Pickens too. That's a lot of cash for four players.
Yes.
So you really need some cheap contracts and some rookies to play well. And it's possible. We've seen it happen.
Mm.
The 49ers have been doing that for years and they've been really good. Made it to a couple Super Bowls. Haven't won it, but it's hard but possible.
Yeah, and I I do have a little bit more hope if if these picks were Stevens doing, I have a little bit more hope if he continues to pick like this because the Cowboys draft this year compared to like last year, like the draft this year was
It was
good.
good.
It was
It was
so
good.
good.
Hmm.
I was so I was so surprised. Every time I saw something go up, I texted two of my friends that I go to church with here, and I was like, "Can you believe this? Like, this is crazy. We got him. Like, what?" So
Hmm.
it's so funny that we've got another Tyler. That's hilarious to me, but uh, it is what it is.
I mean, it was a good pick. I and man, I just the crazy part is because I feel like I was like defending the Cowboys a little bit in some of our past conversations we had, but I told
Yep.
Andrew I like the Cowboys draft. Donovan Ezeudu.
Hmm.
Yeah. I was literally
Yep.
looking at that right now. Yeah. Not
It's a great
Yep.
expecting.
pick. That's who I
Yeah.
wanted, Brickhouse. That's who I wanted
Oh,
my team to take, and you guys
that makes me
took
feel
him.
better.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, we were gonna go after oh, what was that wide receiver that got taken?
Oh, McMillan.
Yes, yeah. Uh
Yeah, it's Andrew's
yeah.
boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tet
So
McMillan.
they were that was
Hmm.
the wide receiver the Cowboys were gonna look at. And so, if we had picked him up, we might not have Pickens. Because they, from what I've heard, like,
Oh, yeah, I'd for sure say that's true. Yeah.
yeah, so we'll see. That might have been a blessing in disguise not getting McMillan, but I'm glad they picked up Tyler Booker. From what I've again, this is talk radio that I've heard it from, but if I remember right, I think they said Tyler Booker, they're planning on having him play center. Um,
Hmm.
but we'll see. But I mean, the dude's good. I'm glad we picked him up. So
Yeah, he's a phenomenal guard. He was by most draft analysts the highest rated guard in the draft, so
mm,
you can't complain about that, especially when your offensive line is getting older and retiring.
yeah, dude, man, I feel so. It's fine. Yeah, we're not going to talk about the sadness there.
Well, actually, that leads me to a question.
So,
So I try my best to listen to all media outlets, like in some
mhm.
bits and pieces, about the NFL. But one thing I was surprised about, Chris Sims went on the Kay Adams show, which shout out. I think the Kay Adams show is probably one of the best out there in terms of like content, information. Like she does a great job of bringing on people that actually reveal things. But Chris Sims said that he thinks that the Cowboys are low key good offensive line going into the season. Is
Mm,
that your feeling?
I feel better about it, but if I'm looking like at our depth chart as it stands right now, if I don't remember just off the top of my head, I want to say it was Cooper. I don't even know how to say his last name. Is it Bebe or is it Bibi or Bibe or
BB,
Biba? Bibi?
BB. Yep.
Appreciate it. I've never known how to say that, and I don't trust the people around here to get it correctly. So, if I remember, did was it Cooper Beebe that was one of our rookies or one of our new pickups last year that had gotten to
Yeah,
a lot of penalty trouble?
that sounds right.
Possibly. He
Yeah,
was your
yep.
rookie last year, so it's
Round three,
possibly.
he was our round three pick.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't, and I don't know how to look it up to see. Golly, that guy was born in 2001. Uh, it's fine. Oh wait. Oh, why did it tell me this was from 5 minutes ago? It says we lost Cooper Beebe, but that was
Oh, you mean
from
it's
December.
5 months? It looks like 5 minutes. I know what
Yeah,
you're looking at.
that's stupid. 5M is definitely minutes.
That's what I'm thinking. I was like 5 minutes. Wow. And then 8 minutes ago could make history starting four rookies. Like, but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is what it is. I feel better about our offensive line this year, I think, than I did last year.
Hmm.
Um, Again, time's gonna tell, and I really want. I'm looking forward to hearing more um, from the rookie camp. Or did that already? No, no, no. The rookie mini camp's not happened yet, right?
I don't know if the
A lot of
Cowboys
teams
has. I know.
has, but I'm not sure with the
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Now there's the mini camp period too. So there's the rookie mini camp, and then there's like actual team mini camp. So that might be
Yeah.
different
Hmm.
too. Like as far as what you're looking to forward
No,
towards.
I wanted to see the rookie mini camp for the Cowboys to see how they are gonna do. Um, let's see. So yeah, I need to do a little research on that and see how everything went. It looks like it did happen already. So I'm looking forward to that just to see how they do first glance rookie against
Hmm.
rookie type stuff. But then I'll look up and read about the mini camp later as well. So all right, cool. I need to make sure and set an alarm to do that. But
I think we should talk about the schedule a little bit more now
Yes.
because
ah,
opening day, how you
yeah,
feeling?
you know, I gotta be really honest with you. I never really judged the any team in the NFL until like week four, just
That's
because
fair.
I just like even whenever I'm playing fantasy football, I I'll pick up players. I'm like, oh, this player's gonna be good. This player's gonna be the best, and then it, they're terrible. You know, they do absolutely nothing. I remember when golly, who's the running back for the Houston Texans? He was like the first round draft pick for everybody. Um,
David Johnson?
yes, David Johnson. Okay, so he was supposed to be like the best possible running back that year. First time ever, I got the first round, first pick in my fantasy
Hmm.
football series. Pick up David Johnson. First freaking game. First quarter, he tears his ACL or his Achilles or something. He's out for the season.
You never want the first pick. You
I was so
never
mad.
want the
Yeah,
number
so
one pick.
I'm not, regardless of what happens, I'm not gonna judge. If the Cowboys blow the Eagles out at home, I'm not gonna judge. If we get blown out away at the Eagles, I'm not gonna judge. Now, if we lose week 2 to the Giants, I am gonna judge. Gonna judge a lot because it's in Frisco and it's
It's
the
Russell Wilson.
Giants. Exactly. So I don't know.
Be
Yes,
honest. If you sneak out a win against the Eagles, you are going to be feeling this is our year.
I'm gonna feel better. I already think it's our year. What are you talking about?
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
you know the whole cycle, right? We're right here. It's our year, we them boys. Oh my gosh, we are. Oh, okay. Oh no, we're on. Yeah, it is what it is.
Beat up on a bad
So
team. Yeah. Yeah, we all know this, Brickhouse.
yeah. When we beat up on the bad team, the Eagles, defending Super Bowl champs. Anyway, but no, I will feel good, not necessarily because I'm going to expect that out of them, but if they come out of the gate swinging, I will feel better. Even if we lose, but we keep it close, like 3-7, like one touchdown to a field goal, I will feel better. I
Mhm.
again, the two biggest unknowns for me is coaching and running backs. I'm worried that we have pigeonholed ourselves into a very obvious offense where people are just going to be able to read us all day long and we're not going to be able to score points. And then our defense, which should be good, our defense should be good. But if our offense is doing three and outs every single time they're on the field, our defense will not look good because they're going to be tired. They're going to be wore out every single game. So yeah, if our offense can yeah, if our offense can be better than the Rangers offense, because the Texas Rangers offense right now, we cannot score runs. We just beat the Astros 1-0. Like, and that's pretty common for us this year. It's like we're a hockey team. It's crazy. I think that the Dallas Stars average more points than the Texas Rangers right now, um, which is insane. I'll have to fact check that later. But yeah, if we can come out of the gate swinging against a team like the Eagles, which is good, and I hate on the Eagles as much as I want to because we're in the same division. It's the name of the game. But I'll respect the Eagles for being good. And as a
Mhm.
Cowboys fan, whenever who'd you win your first Super Bowl against? It was Tom Brady and the Patriots, right?
The Patriots. Yeah.
I
Yep.
cheered for the Eagles because I didn't want Tom Brady to win another Super Bowl. And I always cheer for the teams that don't have one, right? As a Texas Ranger fan, until 2 years ago, we finally got our
Hmm.
first one. But I cheer for teams when they don't have a Super Bowl. I cheer for the Vikings in the playoffs. I want them to win a Super Bowl. I cheer for the Bills. I want them to win a Super Bowl. Because at the end of the day, I'm a Cowboys fan. I love the Cowboys, but at the same time, it's sports. It's not like life or death. Um, but yeah, I really want the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl because it's been long enough. So if we could make it to the NFC Championship even, I would be heartbroken if we lost. But then I could stop hearing Lance over here telling me, "How do you feel being the only team to not make the NFC Championship?" Be like, shut up. I hate you. Just kidding.
You might hate me, but I have to throw this out here, Brickhouse. I'm just going to share it right now because I
Oh,
was thinking about it as
oh
you're
no.
telling me about
Oh no.
like your predictions. But I remember that
No,
I came
dude,
to
I'm
you in the
telling you.
text last year in December, and it was like the beginning of December, and I said, I don't know
Yeah.
about you guys, but I love this season. And here's this quote from Brickhouse right here, and I'll read it to our audience that's only listening to this.
Yeah, go
Lance,
ahead.
I'm not actually open quote. Lance, I'm not saying this to be a Debbie Downer or even a hater. Realistically, I don't think the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. All three of us, including our friend Chris, which we'll bring on later, should just prep for next year. Close
I,
quote.
s- I stand by that. I did not think the Eagles were good enough to go to the Super Bowl. I didn't.
I know
Yeah.
your faith was pretty weak in that, so I'm
Well,
just
I'm
saying,
not
I
a
just had to get that out there because you told me
yeah.
that you're pretty good at having a number on things after the fourth week of the season. This is
I didn't say
December
that.
1st.
I no, don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say I'm pretty good at getting a handle on things. I said I feel better about judging things after the fourth week. But no, I really legitimately by December 1st last year, I did not have any faith in the Eagles. Actually, hold on. How are the Eagles doing? Um, what would that
I mean,
be?
your point is fair though, Brickhouse, because like around that time we had that Panthers game, which was sweating bullets and crazy, and
Mhm.
the Xavier Legette moment was like the breaking point for that
Dude,
game, and it braked in our favor.
I love that guy so much.
Dude, he's
Sorry.
so talented.
Yeah.
We've
He's so
also
funny.
talked about Xavier Legette and how I'm so excited for the Panthers for the next year with McMillan and Legette for
Dude,
Bryce Young.
I love
They're gonna push for that division. I still think the Bucks are gonna win it, but the Panthers, they won't be far back. I'm feeling some Panthers love this year.
It's open, especially in that division.
Hmm.
yeah, let's see so with Xavier Leggett, I love the interview where the lady's like, Xavier, I heard that so and so gave up the most country boy on the team. How do you feel about that? He says, I don't know, man. I don't, everybody says I talk country, but I think I talk regular. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. And I'm just immediately, I watched that and I was like, all right, I'm an Xavier Leggett fan. That boy knows where all the good fishing spots are. I said, I said, I'm a fan of this guy right here. But, yeah, no, so December 1st came around. I didn't think that the Eagles were going to win last year. I thought they were going to go maybe 2 rounds and just get knocked out, but they proved me wrong. So,
Yeah, it's crazy, man. The big part with the playoffs is just health and bizarre factors because
Hmm.
could have been different if the Lions won against the Panthers. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's
I
hard to
gotta be
say,
honest,
but
I really expected the Lions to be in the Super Bowl. I did.
mm,
So that was sad for me too, because I was pulling for Detroit. I really wanted the
Hmm.
Lions to win, but it
It's
wasn't.
hard to win when you have 90% of your roster on IR on defense.
The Mavericks know something about that.
they literally had 90% of their roster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we almost had to be the first team in NBA history to forfeit a game because we didn't have enough healthy players to play a game, but we didn't. So that was nice.
That's when you strap your jersey on and say, "Hey, I
I
got
got
this."
this. Don't worry, I'll play. Oh my gosh.
Well, we already know that that's what Jerry Jones would do if he was young enough.
Yeah, for real.
What position would he play?
Jerry Jones. Wasn't he a running back
Yeah, that's what I was gonna guess. I think he was
for
running back at
Arkansas?
Arkansas. Yeah.
College football. I want to say he was a running back for, let's see, co-captaining the 1964 championship football, national championship football team. There we go. Let's see, what did he play though? Doesn't tell me. Wikipedia, what are you even good for, man? All right, where's AI? He played guard for the Razorbacks. So
Oh, he's an
I would
offensive
not put
lineman.
that man as a
Offensive
guard right now.
lineman. Yeah. No,
Wow.
Dak would get killed immediately.
Yeah, dang.
So
What?
so real talk, Brickhouse. If we're looking at the
hmm
schedule,
hmm
where did the Cowboys finish in the division? What's their standings or record by the end of the season? What would you guess? Start to
You
finish,
know,
how's this year end?
I would say realistically, I would I would say this. I think New York's going to finish last. Um, I think Washington is a very big question mark for me because I don't know if last season was real or if it was fraudulent. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um,
There are a few factors in that. One, they
yeah,
had a cake schedule,
yeah,
and rookie quarterbacks, you'd never know. Their second year, when defenses can plan for them, can
Hmm.
strategize for them, can see how you tick. It's a different story. I kind of feel on the Commanders thing. They might be a team that slips a little bit, where they. I'm not saying they miss the playoffs, but they might.
It looks like they've got a pretty normal to difficult schedule. They're playing the Giants, Packers, Raiders, Falcons, Chargers, Bears, Cowboys, Chiefs, Seahawks, Lions, Dolphins, Broncos, Vikings, Giants, Eagles, Cowboys. So they look like they have a stronger schedule than last year. Um,
Hmm.
so they're
Yep.
they're they're a question mark. But just legitimately as a Dallas Cowboys fan, I think it's going to be between Dallas and Philly for first. So, uh, let me look up something for this fun fact before I say it. Hold on a sec. If I remember right, the NFC East is like one of the only, yeah. So
Oh,
for the
uh-huh.
last for the last like
Hmm.
14 years, you have Eagles, Giants, Redskins, Eagles, Cowboys, Redskins, Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles, Washington, Dallas Eagles, Dallas Eagles, and then next year. So we literally, for the last 14 years,
Hmm.
have not, oh, here's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. The last 20 years, we have not had the same team win the NFC East back-to-back
Hmm.
years since the Eagles won it in 2001, 2, 3, and 4. Thanks, Quincy Carter. But we were talking about him earlier today. But so legitimately, the NFC East is, I think, the most entertaining division in football because it's always up for grabs. Even whenever the Eagles won the Super Bowl, like they won the Super Bowl. When was that? 29, not 2019,
2017. Well,
2017.
2017, 2018.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
they won it in 2017. They won the NFC East, but then the next year the Cowboys won it, and the Cowboys were 10-6 in 2018 when they won the NFC East. So no offense to Lance or the Eagles, but we've seen the Eagles win a Super Bowl and then collapse. It
It's
could
true.
happen if they're not careful
I,
again.
I I've talked about this with Andrew. I feel like that Harry
There we
Yep.
go.
They
Roseman's
got
really
to a
good at
Super
building up a
Bowl.
team, but then the ship
Hmm.
has
Yeah.
to crash, and then he builds up the ship again, and
So
it's so yeah, it's totally possible. Totally
I
possible.
don't I don't know if we can I don't know if we can guess for the NFC East. We could all be wrong and the Giants win. Like maybe
Oh,
they
that'd be a
pop
crazy
off.
world to live in.
Maybe the Giants pop off. I really think they're going to be fourth, and I think it'll be between the Cowboys and the Eagles for first and second. So
How
we'll
many
see.
games do you think the Cowboys win?
Well, we do have a very difficult schedule this year, just based on last year's win percentage for these other teams.
Hmm.
I think the Cowboys can take at least one game off Philly. I think they can win both games against New York. I think they should win against Chicago. Um, Green Bay is always a toss-up for the Cowboys, but I don't know. I feel like Micah Parsons is gonna give Jordan Love a lot of hugs that game, but we'll see. I think we should beat the Jets and Carolina. Washington, I don't know. We could lose to Washington, and we could lose to Denver. It's in Denver. We could lose to Denver. Um, do y'all have any insight on Arizona? Is Arizona good? I don't think
They
so.
are interesting.
Sneaky.
They
Yeah.
they were competitive last year. They just couldn't win some games.
Okay,
They improved. They got sweat from Lance's Eagles. They had a decent draft. That don't sleep on them. I don't
okay.
expect them to win that division, but they are not going out silently into the night.
From what I've heard, the Raiders are actually going to be a real team this year. Um,
Possible.
oh, and
Hmm.
man, speaking of the Raiders, what do y'all think about Derek Carr retiring? That was a shock to me. Was not expecting that. That's neither
Hmm.
here nor there. Um, I don't think we'll win both games against the Eagles. I genuinely don't. That Cowboys very rarely, if ever, win both games against the Eagles, but I think we could take one. The Chiefs, I don't know. We don't play the Chiefs like hardly ever. So I'm actually really looking forward to the Thanksgiving game this year. It's going to be awesome. But Detroit is always a fun toss-up too. I think the Cowboys could probably win 10 games this year, maybe 11, but I think they could win at least 10 games this year, just off the top of my head looking at this schedule.
So which games do you think
Yeah.
will be losses?
I think
You
they will
think
lose
that
at least
second Eagles
one
game
game
or the
against the
first?
Eagles. I don't know. It we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys just go out and just lose game one against the Eagles. But I think they should win at least one game against the Eagles. So they should lose one against the Eagles. I think they could lose against Denver. I don't know about Arizona. Like legitimately,
Hmm.
I don't know how I feel about Arizona. I think they could lose against Las Vegas. To be honest, it's the Cowboys. They could lose their bye week. Who knows? I think we could lose against the Kansas City Chiefs and the Lions. And Detroit's also kind of a toss up. Or not Detroit. Minnesota's a toss up for me. So we could lose against Minnesota and then Washington again as a toss up. I don't know. I don't know about
Yeah.
Christmas Day.
That's that 6 game, 7 game stretch. You have to go 500 basically.
Yeah. And I would
Because that,
say
I mean, that's a gross, like 7 straight games.
Yeah, let's see.
Mm.
So one, two, three, four, five. If I had to, for the last six, I would say we could beat Los Angeles. I want to call them the San Diego Chargers so bad. I would say we could beat the Chargers. I would say we could probably beat Detroit. It would be difficult, but maybe we could. Um, I don't know which one of the Philadelphia games will win, and I don't know which one of the Washington games will win. It's really possible for the Cowboys to go 1-1 against everybody in the NFC East just because of the Cowboys. I don't think it'll happen with the Giants. I don't. I genuinely, I don't. But it's the Cowboys.
I will say one thing.
Temper my
I
expectations.
think there's a schedule loss because there's always a schedule loss where you play like Sunday, then you got to turn around and play Thursday.
Hmm.
And unfortunately for you guys,
Do you
you
think it's
play the
Christmas?
Eagles Sunday the 23rd, then you play the Chiefs the 27th. So you
Yeah,
get like two
back to
days to
back difficult.
prepare.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're going to be
Give
beat up by the physicality of the Eagles. Then you got to play the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. That's tough.
I will say it will be easier, I think, than you think because the Eagles don't, or not the Eagles, the Chiefs don't really change their playbook much. Like, and I think that's part of the reason the Super Bowl went the way it went, is because the Chiefs do Chiefs things and everybody knows what they're gonna
Hmm.
do. They're just they're pretty decent at doing it. I think if I remember right, last year, if there was a stat going around that if you switched the result of every game that was won by one touchdown or less, the Chiefs would have won like four games, like in total.
Hmm.
And so it's not like they're dominating. It's not the same team. So that
They're not, but at the same time, you got
I'm
to
not
give credit when
discrediting
they
them.
do win
Yes, I
those
won't
close games because it
discredit
takes
them.
a lot of grit.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying I personally would be more worried about playing Washington on Christmas after playing the Chargers
Mm.
Hmm.
on the Sunday before. Um,
Yeah. 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 And I mean, you got two
and
Sundays to
that's
Thursdays.
important.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be an important game. That could very well decide wild card, that Christmas game.
Hmm.
So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know.
I like it, man. I mean, walking through it, it makes sense, your predictions. I think that the Eagles, Chiefs, gosh, and the Lions, dude, that is a brutal
Mm.
Hmm.
gauntlet.
Yeah,
And it'd be so hard in that
I
process
agree
to
with Dirty
not look
like
past the Vikings. Like just naturally, right? It'd be hard to
mm,
not look. I mean, just because if you're on your radar, you're thinking of the rivalry with the Eagles, and then
hmm
the Super Bowl second place finishers, and then I mean the Lions. They just cleaned the Cowboys' clocks last year. I mean, there's a lot of other things going on that led to that
yeah.
situation, but I think that the Cowboys will be motivated to win that one.
Yeah, and I personally don't overlook the Vikings because I've got a guy in my church that is a he's from he's from Minnesota. And so he's a huge Vikings fan. And so we talk shop. He's cheering for the Timberwolves.
Hmm.
He cheers for the Twins. He cheers for the Vikings. Like we talk shop, and so I keep an eye on the Vikings. And again, I like the Vikings. I was a Dante Culpepper and Randy Moss fan. I like the Vikings. They're not like they're not my second favorite team. They're just a team that I like, and so I keep an eye on them every once in a while. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be an interesting year for sure.
We've definitely given us a lot of good insight, Brickhouse.
Ah,
Lots
thanks.
to keep
Yeah,
in mind.
for sure.
So
Appreciate it.
we should do this again when we can like lead up into the Eagles
Uh,
Cowboys game,
yeah, we
go
can.
over predictions and kind of
Hmm.
like
And
give a
then
little bit of heads up of how things are going with George Pickens.
in November we can look back and see how wrong I was, and the Cowboys are like 1-10 or something.
I do like your point you brought up though about George Pickens because I feel like and I'm not implying this, but it feels like the Cowboys are almost taking a play out of the Eagles playbook with Devontae Smith and AJ Brown because I
AJ
mean
Brown.
very similar,
Hmm.
right? Like Devontae Smith is more of a sneak behind you, get those like extra yards that you're not expecting, whereas AJ Brown's just man hauling you, just absolutely taking you down, getting the ball over your
Yeah,
head.
I was
So
thinking about
two
AJ
very
Brown
different
the exact
styles.
same way. Hmm.
I think the only question I have, Rickhouse, is are the Cowboys prepared to eliminate the ultimate hurdle, which is not having a curtain? Is that going to change this season?
You know what? If we are so weak as to bow to the power of the sun, we don't deserve a Super Bowl. So I don't know, man. I think that thing is it's so ridiculous because what's really funny is they put a curtain up during concerts at AT&T so the sun's not messing up the concert, but they won't do it for their football team.
Games.
It is what it is. That was
Mm.
a design flaw. You know, my uncle, fun fact for you, Lance, my uncle's construction company that he worked for, he was an engineer before he passed, and the company he worked for had the contract to build AT&T Stadium. And so he's got pictures from like the very top of Jerry's World, like looking down onto the field and of like all of um, the locker rooms and stuff and all the behind the scenes stuff that nobody gets to see. It was really cool. Um, but they really should not have put those windows right in the west. Like that's such a bad idea.
Hmm.
But Jerry can't admit that he was wrong. So that's
He's
part of
never
the
wrong.
problem. No. In 30
Oh, hey, I mean,
years.
if Steven's taken over, maybe Steven can make up an imaginary lie and then bring in the curtains.
Yeah,
I think it's
but
possible.
I will say, and I was talking to my worship pastor about this. I don't remember how old Jerry Jones is. He's in his 80s. He's 82. Yeah, so he turns 83 this year in October.
Holy cow.
Um, he, this is not me wishing this on him, and this is not me looking negatively at his health, but he's in his late 80s. He does not have long for this world. He could be here another 20 years, who knows, right? But I just don't expect him to be here for that much longer. And so I think he's starting to give the reins a little bit more to Steven. And I think Steven is going to respect his dad. And until his dad passes, Steven is just going to run the football team the way the football team's been run. But I kind of think when Jerry passes and the whole team just gets he's president and GM of the Cowboys instead of VP. I think Steven's going to run the football team completely differently. I don't think that's a
Mm.
negative thing. I think he's being a good son and he's honoring his father in that way. And I actually am really not nothing against Jerry. I do wish that he would take a more passive role in the Cowboys franchise and just worry about the business side of things. But you know what? It's his team. He can do what he wants with it. I'm still going to cheer for it. I think that the Cowboys ownership definitely cares more about their fan base than the Mavericks ownership. So, enough said.
That is such a great point.
Yeah.
Such a great point.
Hmm.
we'll see. There's gonna be a massive shift in the Cowboys ecosystem when Jerry passes. We'll see what happens. I don't really know if I'm looking forward to it, because it's the W know versus the W don't. So we'll see what happens.
Mm.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be weird. Gonna be weird.
Mm. This show got kind of sad.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you. Here's a thing that'll make you happy. The Dallas Mavericks got the first draft pick. I don't know if y'all heard about that, but it
Didn't
needs
they
to
have
be
like a
said.
1.8 chance to get it?
1.8% chance. Yeah. I will say the best part about all of that though is I took a screenshot and sent it out to some of my friends whenever the ESPN breaking news came out. Dallas Mavericks will not trade number one draft pick and will seek to draft Cooper Flag. And I was like, oh, praise God. I said I didn't know what they were gonna do with it, but man, I was like, there's a little sense left after all. So
Maybe we'll trade that first round pick for Luca.
I would be happy with that. I would take that. Legitimately, I would. Luca was more than a basketball player to the DFW area. He was an active member of the community. He did a lot of work in the community, and he was our Dirk. And Dirk was
Hmm.
huge, a huge part of the Mavericks. And Dirk loved Luca, and Luca loved Dirk, and they were working together. And I feel genuinely sad for Luca, but I would trade the number one draft pick to get Luca back, because he's more than a basketball player to DFW. So, and we just went to the freaking finals, man. It's fine. It's not, but it has to be because I don't have a say in it.
Hey,
Ah,
that actually leads me to my last question I wanted to ask you guys.
yeah,
Are
what's up, man?
you, I mean, Mike Greenberg just went on a huge rant this week about the NBA lottery and basically taking 50,000 arrows, I think, for Adam Silver, right? I think that was part of the plan or something because he
Mm,
basically defended it. But are you guys in favor of a lottery system moving to other sports?
mm.
I gotta be honest. I think it's kind of fun, but yeah, I don't know. I I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it does somewhat desensitize tanking, somewhat.
Somewhat.
But at the same time, it is hard to not say that little bouncy balls are not rigged somehow.
That's fair.
It's hard to truly trust that when at least the way the NFL is now, you know what the standings, what the order is going to be just on the way teams finished. You know
Hmm.
how it's going to be. So I don't know. I kind of prefer the way the NFL does it now. Because even these teams are tanking, they still get the number one pick and they still suck.
That's true. That's
And
true.
I feel bad for these quarterbacks. I feel bad for guys well, a few years ago, my guy Sam Darnold, he got drafted by a horrible organization, and everyone said he was a bust. It takes him years and years and years to get to a good team. Baker Mayfield, same thing, get drafted by a bad organization. Everyone says he's a
Yep.
bust. Gets to the Buccaneers, and he's a top 10 quarterback all of a sudden. So I feel bad for those guys who get drafted top five because they're landing on a really bad team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the setup I think I could agree with is this was an interesting idea I heard the other day. Is that as soon as a team is eliminated from the playoffs, like as soon as they get that E next to their name or their team logo on the standings, whichever team has the most wins by the end of the year will be able to decide where they pick. And I thought that was
Hmm.
kind of an interesting idea. You'd have to play around with it a little bit because teams are eliminated at different points. It's not all the same thing, but they got to come up with something to make it a little more fair. Like the San Antonio Spurs, the 76ers, and the Mavericks all getting the top spots. I mean, that's just brutal. All three teams that really should have gotten the top picks ended up at five, six, and
Hmm.
seven. And that's just how are those teams ever going to get better? I mean,
Hmm.
I do think though, one thing I would say as a caveat, maybe why you could see the lottery happening in another sport like the NFL, the talent is way better. It's way more dispersed. You could pick at 10 and be excited about it. And the NBA, it's a death knell.
Yeah.
If you're picking at 10, it's like you might as well pick at 30 or 40 or 50 because the talent's
Yeah,
gone.
that's fair. That's
That is
fair.
fair. And the NFL is interesting though because every year's draft classes are different. I mean, look at
Yeah.
the quarterback class like for this draft.
Hmm.
Like bunch of nobodies to be honest. You had Cam Ward and um then the owners had to make a statement about Shador. Statement made. We get it. It is what it is. There's a guy that is trying to sue for that. Did y'all read about that? There's a
No.
guy who's trying to sue the NFL because he said there was a conspiracy against Shador Sanders um, to basically tank. He's a Colorado Buffaloes fan, of course, and so, and so it is what it is. But I man, I got on sidetracked. But so this coming up year, we're supposed to have a
Right.
much better quarterback class in next year's draft from what I've heard and from what I've read. Now it's super early. Maybe they all suck. Nobody knows that they were going to be terrible. But from what I've read and heard on the radio,
Hmm.
they expect next year's quarterback draft class to be way better.
Right.
Whereas with the NBA draft, I feel like it's always the same. Like you want the same two or three position. No, not. I shouldn't say that. There's only what, five positions. You want the same like two positions. That the number one draft pick is always going to be like a Cooper Flag, right? Um, so it is very different. Is there anybody else that does a lottery system? Does the NHL do a lottery system?
I don't think so. I think that the NFL or the NBA is the only one.
That's what it looks like. I really
Oh no,
thought
the
somebody
hockey
else.
does too. Hockey does
Okay,
too.
yeah. Yes. Okay, cool. So we see it be, I don't know enough about hockey positions and hockey draft. I'll be honest, I really only pay attention to the NFL draft, and then I just look to see, okay, did the Mavs get a good draft pick? No? All right, well, I'm used to that. This year, big surprise, big surprise. Now, I will say when we got Derek Lively the second, that was a great pickup for us. So I was very
Hmm.
happy about that. But um, and I'm a big Derek Lively fan. I like him a lot, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if a lottery would work within NFL. Oh, the game is over. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I just looked on accident. So, but
Well, Brickhouse, I know it's getting late, but thanks for taking some time to break things down for us and
Yeah.
give us a
yeah,
little
man.
insider's tips as what's going on in the Dallas Nation. Because one thing's for sure, you're hearing a lot different information than we're hearing.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That means all
No,
of
no,
it's
that's good.
wrong. Oh no.
No, it just means that you're closer
Just
to
kidding.
the action.
Yeah, we got
Well,
smarter today.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's the nice thing about being around. So I don't have to do a whole lot of the like in-depth research because I've got, 105.3 The Fan, right? Or is it 103.5? It's pre-programmed on my car. I don't know. It's one of those. So I can just hit the button, start listening to what they think. Stephen A is always vocal about the Cowboys. He
Very
loves,
vocal.
Yes, he is.
yeah. But he was not happy with the Steelers for giving up George Pickens, which was as close to a compliment for the Cowboys that Stephen A is going to give us, basically,
Hmm.
being
Hmm.
upset with the other team for letting him go. So that's another reason that I was like, well, okay, basically a compliment from Stephen A. So it could be a good thing. But anyway, I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me on, guys. This was fun. I enjoy chatting with you guys. So
Yeah, man. We'll have to do this again. Like I said, we'll look again
for
maybe
sure.
Yeah.
closer to the beginning of the year, and we could talk again about Dallas Cowboys Eagles and
Yeah, the fact that
get
the
your
Cowboys
insight.
won the Super Bowl, like, let's be honest, if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl this year, we know the NFL has a script, and it was just our 30-year Like it was is the 30 years because you have the I don't know if the Cowboys are still the largest fan base. It could be the Chiefs by now, who knows? But if the Cowboys do have the largest fan base and there is a script, I would expect the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl this year because after 30 years, the largest fan base in the NFL finally wins. Like sales would go through the roof, viewership would go through the roof. It would be insane, especially since we didn't make the playoffs last year. Like, so we'll see if I'm gonna wear a tinfoil hat the next time I'm on or not. But who knows,
Well,
man?
Brickhouse, I'll give you this promise. If your Cowboys make it to the Super Bowl, I will buy a Dallas Cowboys shirt and I will wear it. I'll send you a picture.
Perfect. That's beautiful. I love it. I'm here for that.
But what would you do if the Eagles won again?
Absolutely nothing. The Eagles are a good team right now.
Oh, it's fine.
I'm
That's
gonna
all
be
right. I,
honest.
I still have that text that will live forever in my phone. I'm so
Good.
glad that I
Forever in
have that
infamy.
Man,
evidence.
I literally like I could never have guessed that the Lions were gonna choke like they did. I'm just gonna be honest. I really thought the Lions were gonna go. I thought it was their year, and man, they let me down bad.
Well,
They
yeah,
let
man.
all of
No
Detroit
one
down.
saw the Washington Commanders and game coming with the Lions. That was just bizarre.
Yeah,
Bizarre.
yeah,
Especially how
absolutely.
lopsided it was.
And I've got,
Yes.
man, I love Dan Campbell. A lot of respect for that man. Wasn't just it just wasn't their week. So
Yeah.
maybe next year.
Just keep telling yourself that, Brickhouse.
I
I
do
like
every
it.
year. Right around I don't know why, but right around January 1st, I tell myself maybe next year. I don't know why, but it's fine.
That's fine, man. Well, hey, thanks
Well,
so
there's
much,
gonna be one
Brickhouse.
year where you say January 1st, maybe this year.
Maybe this year.
I
I do.
like it.
I will say that this year.
That
Guarantee.
is that. No, no. This is what we'll do. We'll get you a shirt that after the Eagles win the Super Bowl that says maybe next year with the dot 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 afterwards, and that'll be your subtle like admission that the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, all right. I'll just get one of the I'll get one of the my wife's got a cricket, so we'll just cut it out and we'll just make it here at the house. Yeah. Jeez.
I like it. Way to be resourceful.
That hurts my feelings, Lance. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just kidding. I will. I will. Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks, Brickhouse. We appreciate it, man. We'll let you go so
Yeah.
you can get ready for the rest of the week.
Sounds good, guys. Hey, thanks so much. It was good being here.
Hey, thanks, Brickhouse.
Yeah.
Have a good
Thank
night, man.
you.
You as well. Adios.